Cage-free.
Full of omega-3s.
Omega-3s, fatty
Just
acids.
starting to describe eggs now.
Welcome to the Writing Center Egg Podcast.
Okay. So who are you people? How did I come here? All right.
Let's go.
Oh, God.
Has this been recording the whole time? I realized I was like, this could be part of me. Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Writing Center Podcast, and Elizabeth is already laughing at me. We are off to a great start.
This happens like 3 times every time we record one of these things, I promise. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Steph.
And today we're here with the new director of the Writing Center, Melissa Mullins.
Hello.
And Steph and I are going to interview her. So anyone who's listening to us gets to know her a little bit better.
And we get to know her a little bit better, because I feel like I haven't talked to you all that much.
I know, right?
Like,
again, who are you people?
No.
Do you work for me?
Yes,
we just pretend to so we can get money.
You're actually paying us to do this right now.
That's excellent.
So start with the basics. Where are you from?
I am from Spokane, Washington, alternately known as Spokanada, Vegas. That's the best one, really.
That's awesome.
Yes. Eastern Washington State.
Why is it known as Vegas?
Just because I have no idea.
I understand because it's like right there.
Yeah, but
Vegas.
it's like a, because it's a cool hipstery way of referring to your town, I guess. And somebody made a T-shirt that said that. So
it's official.
It's
on
official. It's on a T-shirt.
All right.
Elizabeth.
Okay. I guess it's kind of like the people who call Atlanta Hotlanta.
Yep. Well, that makes sense because Atlanta is
Yes.
hot.
Yes.
And Nashville, Tennessee's Nash Vegas, so
There you go.
It's
There's
Nashville.
a whole movement
Why does
it's like a
be...
mashup or it's like, what is it? When you two people dating and it's like Benifer.
Yeah, the couple smoosh name.
Yeah.
It's the smoosh. It's
smoosh.
part of the smoosh
Brangelina
movement.
there we go, yeah.
Exactly.
Stephabith. Our new name for the podcast.
There we go.
The Stephabith Writing Center Podcast. All right, where did you go to school and what was your major?
I was always in English literature.
Sweet.
In fact, I started out as a biology and music double major, and then I defected to the English department.
That's a combination.
I know. Tell me
Biology
about
and
it.
music.
And I went to Portland State for my bachelor's and my master's, and I went up through past my scary exams into ABD land at the University of Connecticut. Before then, I defected to university in Switzerland.
Awesome.
So, which I'm currently finishing my dissertation.
Cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So now we have to skip the next question and ask what's your dissertation on?
Oh, it's on. What is it on? I'm looking at you, Steph. What is
I
my
should know.
dissertation
Well,
on? It's on.
it's about biology and music.
In literature.
In literature.
It is about French and German fairy tales and how they get adapted onto the 19th century lowbrow stage in burlesques and pantomimes and extravaganzas with really bad punning.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're, it's like Bluebeard from a new point of view.
Excellent. Is that how we wound up with Redbeard? This is great.
That's my favorite.
It's full of, there it is. I just, you sit in the archives of the library just going
Okay, so now we had this, I remember you mentioning that at some point, so I had this as a later question, but now because we're moving organically.
What's my favorite fairy tale?
Cage-free, Bluebird, what's your favorite fairy tale?
You know what, Bluebeard?
What is your favorite fairy tale that you have studied for this dissertation? I speak English.
Oh,
I write it
One
really
of those
well.
Russian spies. It comes from the villages where they speak.
I would say do a Russian accent, but
I can't do an
No,
accent.
you can't do that. Well, Bluebeard was for a while, but I am also a big fan of the juniper tree, also known as one of the most gruesome of the those fairy tales. And there's just all kinds of, like, you know, intrigue, revenge, death, horrible death.
All right before bedtime.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to Google that one. I
Yeah.
love fairy tales like that, like the darker ones.
The juniper tree is the best. That's
Gonna have to look that up.
Definitely. Oh, cannibalism. Proper, I killed your child and just fed him to you in a stew kind of cannibalism.
Some good old Titus Andronicus kind
Oh,
of stuff.
yes. I see. Yes. A little Titus Andronicus, a little Seneca. It's all good. I like me some cannibalism.
It's a good plot point.
It is.
Maybe not so much like a real life practice, but a good plot point.
New director of writing center, suspected cannibal.
If anyone from the campus carrier is listening, I have a new story for you.
Calling out my roommate specifically here. You know, she can't be a cannibal. Her name doesn't rhyme with cannibal.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's
work.
true.
Oh yeah.
Melissa the
True.
Cannibal doesn't work.
Man,
not as
not as catchy
catchy.
as Hannibal the Cannibal.
No, it's true.
All right, so here I'm gonna let you ask the next question since we just kind
Okay.
of like.
Yeah. What was your favorite class and your least favorite class that you have taken, but also that you have taught? So let's start with favorite class taken.
Milton. Yes. With one of the best professors of all time, who I'll have to forward this link to. Actually, the best professor of all time, Greg Gokshin. And he made us start the class by reading Paradise Lost in 1 week, which is no insignificant task.
No.
And there were many points at which I was cursing his name. But to be forced to do something that intense really just launched you right into the material, and then we stepped back and took it at a slower pace and reread it, which I also think is important. And gosh, it was just amazing. Not to mention that whether people even know it or not, that everybody is just profoundly influenced by Milton, just like they're influenced by the Romantics. And just like the Romantics were influenced by Milton. Oh my God, stop me talking. My least favorite class to teach. Oh gosh. I don't know. Oh, I do know, actually. I have no idea why anybody thought this was a good idea, but one semester at Portland State, the year before I started my PhD program, and I was adjuncting for them, they assigned me to teach a grammar refresher course. It was called Grammar Refresher. Now, I am perfectly competent at grammar, but I in no way should ever be allowed to teach grammar. Like, actually as the basis of a whole class. It was just painful, like from start to finish in every single way. And there are just so many moments where I found myself with flushed of the class trying to like desperately cling to some notion that I knew what I was talking about at all. A grammarian, though, I am not. An English lit major
Yeah.
with a good, solid knowledge of language and the ability to use it, yes, but there's a big difference.
So outside of working on your dissertation and being an English major, like pretty much professionally at this, do you have any other hobbies?
Well, also being a mother takes up a lot of time, seriously. You know, like, it's just, you could say I work for the circus, really, because that's what it is always constantly like, working at the circus, just constant chaos. But I also really, really love to travel, and I really love to read and bicycle and hike and be outdoorsy and like Chaco-y, stuff like that.
Chaco-y, I like that
Chaco-y.
phrase. That describes a lot of Berry College, so.
Describes most of Berry
Most of Berry College.
Oh, and as Jemiah knows, I also like to watch Doctor Who a lot.
Very
And Law and Order SVU.
Yes.
Kind of obsessed with Law and Order.
Yes.
I mean, like, I'll go through breaks of it, you know, where I finally am just like, okay, I have to ease off because the Law and Order SVU formula is just, it's become too transparent to me, you know?
Yes.
And Ice-T has said one too many times, like, whatever Ice-T says, which is usually fairly ridiculous.
It's like my comfort TV show.
It is
though.
so it's like a big bowl of garlicky mashed potatoes.
Yes.
Sitting down and watching SVU, you know.
Organic.
Oh, and
Cage-free,
I also like to
gluten-free.
cook. Although
Ooh, I love
don't
to cook.
don't cross-reference that to the cannibal.
We weren't going to until you said that.
Now we're suspicious.
Bastard.
If two of your favorite literary characters were drowning and you could only save one of them, which would you save?
I feel like you'd have to save like Elizabeth Bennet or something. You know, I'm gonna go with that because it's just like that went in there first in the brain. I should go for something less obvious, but you know. Maybe like,
I was
but
gonna say,
this could
so wait, who
this
drowned?
could really
Right, yeah, who
really
drowned?
muddy
Which
it
one
up.
who drowned?
What if it's Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet, and you save
Ooh.
Elizabeth Bennet after she's grown to appreciate him, even though you know their relationship's never gonna work out.
I still say Elizabeth Bennet's slightly more worth saving there.
Yeah, I think big time.
I was gonna say, because the other question to this is who'd you let drown? Because they don't have to be
Yeah.
from the same book, but who'd you let drown?
Yeah, well, I think Mr. Darcy, and then he turns into a zombie, which leads to the
Pride and Prejudice
Prejudice
with
with
zombies.
zombies.
Exactly.
I always wondered how that book went.
That's what happened.
That was the prequel. You never saw that.
Okay.
They stole the whole idea from me anyway.
I don't know if I could, like, I found this question and I was thinking about it too, and I was like, first off, I can't choose two favorite literary characters.
I know, that's the problem, is that,
But-
it goes back to that question, like, what's your favorite book, and which you should never ask any English lit person ever.
I have 3 that I rattle off fairly quickly, and then after that, but like I can't choose between those 3.
Do you feel good about yourself after you've said those 3, though? Because I don't.
Usually,
I feel like I've betrayed every other book that I've ever really enjoyed.
I feel pretty good about these 3. And then I'm like, okay, but I have to like add qualifiers. It's these 3
in the category of
like
the...
excluding the Harry Potter series and like excluding like book series as a whole, pretty much, even though one of them's the first in a series, but like as books themselves and like as books that I have felt have profoundly influenced my life, these are the 3 we're going with.
And those would be...
A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray, who I met last weekend, which was great.
Wow.
Oh crap, I just blanked. No, okay, got it. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, because I've loved that book since I was 5. And the illustrated book of Shakespeare that was in my library in elementary school that my target teacher in 1st grade decided she was going to read to a group of 7-year-olds. And that is why I am an English major.
Nice.
I blame Miss Close for that. I blame her. It's her fault for reading me Shakespeare at age 7.
Something had to do it. It would have happened sooner or later.
Oh yeah, probably.
It's an incurable genetic disease.
Yeah. I was gonna say my dad was a double major in English and history, so yeah.
It was only a matter of time.
See, if we're judging our favorite books, though, by, like, how much they influenced you, my favorite books are, I just really like them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I've got like A Great and Terrible Beauty in there,
Yeah.
because it's. I'm not going to say it doesn't have literary merit because I think it does, but it's a fairly typical historical time period, slightly paranormal, little bit of romance YA novel, but it's great, and it's the best one there is. So, Libba Bray, please listen to this podcast. I'm saying nice things about you again.
Mine's
So-
just the Wizard of Oz series. The
Um,
entire series.
The movie scarred me for life as a 5-year-old.
Scarred you?
Scarred
They left out all the good bits. They left out the Kaladas.
The flying monkeys and the Wicked Witch of the West were really scary to 5-year-old me, and I can't get over it.
Wicked Witch of
Okay.
the West was like goals for me. I always wanted to be like, I just loved witches growing up. I was a witch for like 7 years in a row for Halloween. So like the Wicked Witch of the West was just like, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like
the cackle scared me.
I kind of feel like my favorite book is whatever one I'm currently reading in some ways. But then there is sort of like the alternate category of what really influenced you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, or like what have you reread the most?
Yeah.
And that would be probably a tie between Pride and Prejudice and this book by Robert Heinlein called Job, Comedy of Justice. Do you know Robert Heinlein, sci-fi writer?
No,
He did
but
like
that sounds
I
really
feel like I need to know.
interesting.
yeah, he did Space Troopers, which they made into a fairly good adaptation. But he did like Stranger in a Strange Land. That's a title
That I've
people
heard
have
of.
heard
Yeah.
of that, but
I don't know what
maybe
it's
never
about,
read
but
it.
I've
Yeah.
heard of it.
He was this really just weird 1960s sci-fi writer. I love that book though. I need to read it. Like, it's a grounding book. Like,
Right.
I just need to read it every so often to remind myself why I am alive.
I think everyone needs
In a
something
really
like that.
weird
Like,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, but I can get behind that. Okay, so then I'm gonna get my weird question in.
Oh, good.
Where'd it go? Okay, if you could go back in time and kill one person.
We're just gonna
Okay,
kill
back in-
people for a couple.
Yeah.
We went for
Back in
cannibalism.
If you want to. Because, okay, back in time or really currently as well and kill one person, excluding, like, preventing major historical events like you
Hitler.
can't kill Hitler.
Yeah. There was a time, actually, the first thing that comes to mind, slightly controversial for English literature people, I as of Saturday, Far from the Madding Crowd. And I have a very troubled relationship with Thomas Hardy. And I would say that there have been a couple of times, especially reading like Jude and Tess. God, I just want to punch him. I don't know if I want to kill him. I really want to punch him and maybe kick the crap out of him.
I feel like it's a fairly, like,
He
I can't-
hurts me with
I had to
his
read
words.
I had to read Jude the Obscure last semester, and I read a lot of books that semester for that class that I didn't necessarily enjoy. I was in a class on the Victorian novel, which was fun because the Victorians are a fun culture,
Yeah.
and by fun I mean just rife with all sorts of double standards
Yeah.
and racism
Yeah.
and sexism, and they're great. Colonialism, imperialism, superiority,
Yeah,
the middle class.
totally.
But it's also transparent in their novels, and you're just like, wow, guys.
Yeah.
Even when Dickens is trying to be nice to people, he's still just so middle class.
Yes.
And I
That is
hate him.
So bougie.
My person would be, I'd kill Dickens. I hate him.
You know what? Actually, there was a time when I would have helped you, actually. And mostly I still would, actually. I mean, it's an unpopular feeling
But
amongst
Thomas
our folk.
Hardy was not my favorite either.
Thomas Hardy, you know, the problem with him, and maybe the reason why I would go from a beating to a murder with him, is that he sticks with you, and you can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
I like he's such a good writer in some ways, but he's such a moron too. Like, he just doesn't, he editorializes everything. And Far from the Madding Crowd is the most sexist pile of garbage in some ways that I've ever read. It's so misogynistic. He doesn't editorialize on men. It's just like, well, you know, it shouldn't be that. So I think people focus on some like idea that the main character is this strong, empowered woman because she works as a farmer in this male-dominated sphere, but it's not at all. It's so not. It's terrible. It's terrible and wonderful. I hate him for that. He's really good and bad at the same time. How can you be so good and bad as a writer at the same time?
Well, you could ask whoever was in charge of BBC's Merlin.
There you go.
Not bitter.
Not
Just,
bitter.
Not bitter.
Just so you know, just
Not
saying.
bitter, just a little bitter.
Just saying.
It's been several years and I'm still bitter. Okay. Okay, so wait, now Steph, who would you kill?
Nathaniel
For-
Hawthorne.
Oh yeah, I'd help you with that
Nathaniel
one too.
Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Honestly, he wrote The Minister's Black Veil, right?
Yes.
Yes.
See, I enjoyed that, so that's like his one redeeming thing. But I also read The Scarlet Letter,
Oh, it's terrible.
and like that's really my only basis is like why
Yeah.
why would you do that to me? Why would you do that to high school students all over the country?
But see, then you have to ask, Nathaniel Hawthorne didn't do that to high school students. The curriculum did that to high school students. That's like the curriculum inflicting Romeo and Juliet on ninth graders who are not properly prepared
Yeah.
to enjoy Romeo and Juliet for what it is, because
Maybe-
they're either, it's a cute love story, or they've got their teacher preaching in their ear, no, this is about the dangers of having sex.
Ooh, can I kill a literary character instead of
Yes,
an actual
sure,
person? I want to
probably.
kill Holden Caulfield.
Ooh.
Because-
I know a lot of people who would help you.
Because, and for similar reasons to Hardy, actually, who I don't really want to kill, but I just kind of want to, like, punch him, like I said.
Yeah.
Because when I was 19, I thought Holden Caulfield I thought Catcher in the Rye was really good because I was 19, and it speaks to 19-year-olds, I think. And then when I reread it or it doesn't, actually. It
I was
depends
gonna
on how
say,
mature you are.
I read it at
19.
15 and it did not
And you were
speak
just
to
like,
me at
it's not
15. I was
speaking to me.
like,
I was
this
willing.
Holden Caulfield is a phony.
Yeah, no, it's true. Actually, I mean, maybe more Franny and Zoe than Catcher in the Rye. But when I went to go teach Catcher in the Rye when I was probably around 30, it was the most painful. That's the most painful thing I've ever taught, actually. It wasn't the class. It was just that book. Oh, God, it was awful. I so regretted my decision to choose that book for young adult lit. Punch him. And then let's kill Holden Caulfield.
Do we have any other good questions?
Yeah, what other?
Well, we were going to ask you about your plans for the Writing Center, but we're
Yeah,
kinda-
well, how about we end on that? Plans
Yeah.
for the
My
Writing Center.
plans for the Writing
Plans
Center
for the
are
Writing Center for the masses.
Are many and very exciting. My plans for the Writing Center, well, for starters, I plan to get a new table.
Yes.
Good
Because,
plan.
You know, I feel like the person who's running for class president, like who offers the free lunch, you know, like, I want sure that we have
Vending
free desserts
machines.
after every vending machines.
Vending machines, that's
Actually-
what they always promise us, vending machines.
Do you know what? I am serious about the Swift and Finch
Okay.
promises. So one of the things I wanted to, first of all, we're getting a new table to replace the Table of Doom.
I sat at it last night for one of my sessions and it kept moving and I was like, let's move tables. They were like, okay.
It's demoralizing to all who sit at it and depressing, and it I think it sort of exudes a feeling of doom throughout the entire room. It's kind of like a dementor.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the impression I get from people anyway. I don't spend
Yeah.
enough time in the room to really care that
No, that's pretty accurate.
But yeah, so I plan on getting a new table. Very exciting. We're going to have a coffee station in the back, a legitimate Swift and Finch until I run out of money coffee station, with a French press because you know, I'm from Portland and stuff.
The Writing Center's getting a little hipster.
Yep.
A little
It was
more
bound to
hipster
happen
than it was
eventually.
already.
Yeah.
We are all gonna grow mustaches, but like proper, you know, sort of handlebar
Right, of course.
mustaches. And yeah, I guess on a serious note, I want to move in a direction where we have as many different disciplines represented as possible. There's already a pretty good spread.
Yeah, but I know from past years, definitely, we are always asked if we could have more
Yes.
specific people. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's mostly English majors, which is
We're a
fine.
little highly concentrated
Well,
in the
you
English
know,
major
yeah.
direction.
We are the ones that sort of gravitate towards this kind of work.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that no matter who you work with, they should be skilled enough in the use of the English language as to be a good listener
Mhm.
and collaborator, even if they aren't experts on the topic.
Yeah. We can
But
always.
it's still nice, just for comfort's sake, to go in and be like, I want to work with somebody in animal sciences because I've got this animal sciences paper. Animal sciencey? Animal sciencey paper?
Lab reports.
Lab reports? Yeah.
I was gonna say, because except for like hard formats like lab reports for the most part, at least we can help you with style and the
Yeah.
actual writing part if we can't help you with content.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, and also if students can't properly educate you on their content, then they need to spend more time acquainting themselves with
Yeah.
the content that they want to write about. I mean, it's part of the processing portion of writing a paper, is being able to explain something to somebody who's not necessarily in the know. So yeah, and there are all kinds of initiatives that I would like to start doing workshops in like writing workshops in classes, starting this semester with Professor Hoyt, and we are going to start a writing center kind of journal. I hesitate to call it a literary journal because it's not really a literary journal, but it will showcase the best of the writing center. So students who come in with papers that seem to have a lot of potential for being something really fabulous, we will invite to be part of this process, publish their work, and show the revision process and have some reflection so that people can be inspired by that. Yeah, and we're always looking forward to other suggestions from the public. That is you.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm super excited. Most definitely.
If, you know, I can ever figure out how to properly use WC Online as an administrator.
We're all still trying to figure it out, so it's all good. At least we got the session reports, and that's really all that people care about.
We just figured that out on Thursday.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. So
All
that.
right. Come to the Writing Center.
Yeah.
We love you.
Remember, you can make appointments on berry.wconline.com, and you can check out our schedules. Thank you very much, Melissa, for being here.
Letting us interview you for
Yeah.
a good long while now.
Yeah.
And
Hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
And that's been the second edition of the Writing Center podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Hope everyone has a great day, and we will see you.
Talk to you.
You'll
Listen
hear
to
us
us talking to a microphone in an empty room next week.
next week. Bye, everyone.